So I'm curious about your writing process because I spoke with another writer last week, Cecilia Austin, and
Mhm.
she is a journalist. I'm a copywriter, and I think it's so fascinating that as writers, like we could all have this shared experience of like what it's like to actually put your thoughts and your ideas onto paper or on a laptop. But the medium that we go about choosing is very different. The experience of writing an article versus writing a book is totally different. And I've always thought that writing a book was just so daunting because it's like you have to have like this finalized thing, and then once it's done, like it's just out in the world, and
Oh,
that's the version that everyone has. And I guess for me,
yeah.
it's like the thing I love about social media is that I always can edit or delete.
Yeah, yeah.
So how do you structure like going about writing a book? Because this is and you can clarify this because I don't know how many books you've written. I know this is more than this is like at
Yeah.
least the second one.
Oh, yeah.
How do you structure going about like, okay, I'm gonna write this book? Do you do it organically, just like, okay, I'm gonna write when I write and then it's finished when it's finished, or do you set goals and like, oh, I need to write X amount of pages every single week? How do you organize this?
So when I wrote the first book, I was like doing some research because I was like, all right, I'm just gonna write it and then it's gonna be done. And then I kind of like started doing the research of publishing, like self-publishing, because no one wanted my book. And I was looking at the requirements. It's like, okay, so it has to have like 50,000 words. That's like 300 pages. I'm like, I have 8,000 words. So I have to like sit down. So I would kind of like, try to make time to write.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a video, I can't think of his name, but he was great. He put out a video about procrastination where he writes and he makes a video every day and he doesn't go to sleep until he finishes something. And I'm like, all right, that's a great philosophy to live by.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been trying it and it's a little hard.
Oh yeah.
It's a little hard because it's a lot. Writing can be exhausting
Mm-hmm.
because, I remember watching Secret Window where Johnny Depp is like sitting at the
Mm.
laptop and he's typing and then he's like, "Oh, this sucks." And he deletes it and I'm like, "Yeah, this sucks. I can't write this." It's just like, "All right, this is terrible." So like I try to find moments where, I'm relaxed, I'm calm, and I'm feeling like, I want to be creative right now.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be like, all right, I'm waiting for a client in my car as she's in an appointment. Let me pull out my laptop, throw on some classical music, and see what I can do. Or if I'm like in between like writing quarterly reports and I'm tired of reading progress notes, I'll switch off for like maybe 30 minutes and see what I can write. So I kind of like give myself time,
Uh-huh.
but not enough time to do like writing every day, which I should.
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
I'm attempting to get back into that mindset. So it's a work in progress.
I commend you because I've been trying to do that. Trying to commit to like being consistent about your creativity because like that's a hard thing is especially if you're working, like if
Yeah.
you have a 9 to 5, it's like, okay, well, I also have my art that I want to do, and sometimes like you're just too tired to do that shit. So you really have to
Yeah.
set aside specific time to actually do it. But like you said, it's like sometimes you give yourself just enough time to do a little bit of something, but it's not
Right.
enough. But it's not enough to do like the thing that you want, the main. And it's like that. It's like that creative project that's just always in the back of your mind. Like, oh my god, I really need to work on that thing, and I really need to finish
Yes.
it.
Yes. Like that's what I was like trying to convince myself. Like, let's have this done by the end of November. And here we are at the end of, and I still need 5 stories to write.
Gosh. All right. So, um, let's say you finish the rest of your stories. Um, what is the next step? Like how like from that point on, once you actually have a working piece,
Yeah.
um, like who do you go to? Like, do you have to hire somebody to edit it? Do you like how do you get this thing published? Like, what are the costs of that? Like,
So honestly, I exhausted myself trying to get my book out originally to all these editors and these publishers.
mm-hmm,
Like I wrote like 80 different query letters and I either didn't get a response back or I got the generic, oh, thank you for your whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
But right
Mm-hmm.
now we're not interested in this piece. And it's like, I feel like maybe my title was a little, off-putting. No one wants to, it's a little intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, whatever. What can I do that's cheap or like almost free? And I have all of the creative decisions in my corner
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of companies, they want to dictate how your work is portrayed or they want to change things. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I fucking wrote it. I kind of want it to be
You
the
want to have
way I
creative control.
exactly because, I put blood, sweat, and tears into this. So, I don't want it to be someone else's baby because this is my baby. So I started like Googling, self-publishing, and I kind of stumbled upon Amazon, even though Amazon is terrible in itself. But I went to Amazon Direct Kindle Publishing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was completely free to me, and
Wow.
I can edit it anytime I want. I can pull it down and I can put it back up. I can choose my cover. For this book particularly, I want to actually include pictures I've taken and kind of tweak them and put them in for each specific story. So I have the creative realm to do that, which is really nice.
Wow.
And honestly, I get like full control of how much I want to price my book and how much royalties I get after like their take. So say I sell my book for $15,
Mm-hmm.
I'll get like 10 of it, 10 of the 15, which
Wow.
isn't yeah, it's not terrible. Like that's fine.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah. I mean, that's pretty good because, like,
yeah.
what is it like when you go to an actual publishing company that like is making all these decisions of like how your cover is supposed to look? Like, do you know what the payout difference is when you do it yourself?
I didn't get that far in the publishing through someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but honestly, from what I've done my research on, it was more like, hey, there are also a lot of scammers out there who are telling you, hey, if you give us this amount of money, we can get your book published. And it's like, what? No. So, I
Gosh.
didn't even get that far. I still get letters or emails from this chick named Mary Flores about being interested in my book, but I would have to pay like $100 to $200 for my book to be published, which is stupid.
Oh
Of course,
gosh.
I don't want to do that. So yeah, the self-publishing was the easiest and the freest method I could find. And I am definitely going that route again.